With us now is Candida Moss, the Edward Cadbury Professor of Theology at Britain's University of Birmingham. Good morning. Welcome. So we know about the architecture and the history, but tell us about the theological significance of Notre Dame.
Well, Notre Dame is really the beating heart of Catholicism in France. This is where Joan of Arc was made a saint. This is where kings and emperors are crowned, where they hold funeral masses for their presidents. It's really much more than a building. It's more than just a church. It's interwoven with the fabric of French history.
And go ahead, Gayle.
Well, now the donations are pouring in, and you were saying that before they were trying to raise money for the restoration, and it was not going well. Tell us about that.
That's right. Despite the fact that the French government actually owns the cathedral building, they had pledged only 25% of the $180 million renovations. Now, the French government has said that they will rebuild the cathedral, and donations are rolling in, including 100 million euros from the Pinot family.
Are you confident that it will be rebuilt and rebuilt the way it was?
That's a good question. Will they rebuild it the way it was? If they had laser scanned the building, that would be possible and sort of relatively easy to do. But there are questions about whether they will try to rebuild it in the same way, given that the spire was actually constructed in the 19th century.
What do you think this will mean for Catholics in France? Because Catholicism in France has had is a bit on the wane, yes? I mean, so what do you think this will do to the actual belief system of people in Paris?
Well, it's obviously devastating, and you can see already a kind of spontaneous renewal of piety. You see people singing in the streets, you see them praying. It's probably going to bring people back to church. I expect that this Easter, churches in Paris will be jam-packed as people mourn not only the crucifixion of Jesus, but also the loss of so much of this cathedral.
And then, Candida, I think about this happening on Holy Week, of all weeks.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. This is a period of time when people flock to churches. The crown of thorns that they rescued from the cathedral is displayed at Notre Dame on Good Friday. And now where will they display it, even though they've saved it? So it's devastating to have something like this happen in the most holy of weeks.
Mm-hmm. What other artifacts were in the building? And do you know what they saved and what they didn't save?
So in addition to saving the crown of thorns, they also saved part of the tunic of St. Louis, a very important saint in the region. They also apparently saved items from the treasury, so important religious statues. What they didn't save were the relics that were in the spire of the cathedral itself. They had small portions of the relics of St. Denis and St. Genevieve in the spire that are presumed lost. The organ, which is tremendously valuable, is damaged but apparently intact. And though there's damage to the medieval stained glass windows, it's possible that they might be saved too.
But when you look at the building, Candida, as bad as it is, it could have been so much worse. Bravo to the firefighters there.
That's absolutely right. I think what was shocking about this was the idea that with all of our technological advances, we couldn't get it immediately under control. People were asking, why weren't there sprinkler systems? And that's because it's a medieval construction.
Right.
But yes, the firefighters did an amazing job.
All right, Candida.
Professor Moss, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.